So Rare Beauty have come out with some new bronzers. I think they're not so new now. We already have from them their bronzing sticks, and now their bronzing powders, and their contours that we tried last time that were actually a bit of a disappointment when it came to shade range for contour, because they were kind of just bronze. I think there was one in there that was kind of a good contour. So I am interested to see how these powder bronzers stack up against their already existing bronzing sticks and their contours. Rare Beauty have gifted these to me. They sent me a very nice PR package, which I have already opened and removed the products from inside. It does not mean I have to like it. We do not lick any bum holes around here. So subscribe if you haven't already. If you love more makeup focused videos like this, I will have them out for you every single Monday. So yeah, let's get into it. So these are the Warm Wishes Soft Matte Powder Bronzer. They're described as an ultra smooth bronzing powder with a blurred matte finish that gives a natural sunlit warmth all day long. So there's 7 shades in this one. I have 2 in front of me. I have Summer Feels, which I believe is the lightest, and Sunblaze, which I believe is the second lightest. I'm very happy they sent me these shades. There's a lot of brands look at my skin and for some reason they send me like the medium to deepest. Also a new brush, which is the angled powder brush. I really like Rare Beauty's brushes. I actually don't like brushes this slim for bronzer. You could use it that way, to be fair, but I prefer more of a domed, rounder top, something I can really buff outwards and circle outwards. I don't like to drag my bronzer, but we are going to use that and see how it goes. I can see this would be useful in some way, so we're going to give that a go. And they did also send along some of their liquid contour. This is the shade Gentle, which I think was one of the only shades that really did look like a contour. Okay, so let's do this. Let's add a little bit of contour. I'm going on top of my foundation. I don't like to lay down a powder or anything like that first. Some people say you have to put the powder down before you put a powder on top. Not one bit, not at all. I'm gonna do a bit of contour first on one side so we can see the bronzer with the contour. Okay, so let's do contour one side. I won't do it on both sides so we get a good idea for like the differences. I'm just gonna leave a little bit of space above my contour because I'm gonna overlap the bronzer a little bit with that contour. So when we're laying down a contour shade, we kind of want it to sit where our shadow naturally sits on the skin. And you can see my shadow here. So I'm just gonna put the contour shade there because that shadow will disappear with the lighting, right? But by adding a contour product, you kind of have that contour shape a little bit more permanently in most lighting situations. Like you can still see the shadow a little bit. Very subtle. That's how we like a contour. I do really like this product, and this shade still has a little bit of warmth to me on my skin, but it's nice and subtle and natural. That's what we like. Okay, let's go in with a lighter shade first. This is Summer Feels. Let's feel it. Okay, oh, maybe that is quite orangey actually. That's very bronzy. So this is the lightest shade. It does pull quite orange, which on very fair skin, I would worry about that tone on very fair skin. You know what I mean? Let's try it on me with a brush. I'm just gonna tap it at excess. I'm just gonna lay it half on top of a contour, half on top of my cheek. And I'm kind of using this brush in more like a sweeping motion because, like I said, I don't want to use that strip. Although it's kind of shaped for it, I just don't like the way that is. I prefer to be a little bit more gentle. Okay, that's nice. That's actually really nice. It looks bronze. It doesn't look too orange. I was worried that it was going to be, like from the swatch in my hand, that looks quite orangey, right? But it does add a bronziness to me. It isn't orangey at all. The formula, when I touched it in pan, it kind of felt creamy in a way. Long-lasting warm dimension with blurred matte finish. Ultra smooth with a cream-like feel. This powder bronzer glides like butter and blends like a dream with zero fallout. Quite a bit of fallout there. I really like that. Let's try the other one, the one that's a little bit darker, Sunblaze. Ooh, listen, okay, let's try it on first and then we'll talk about that. Because, okay, no, I'll tell you my concerns with these very light shades is that these are the 2 lightest, right? And that's how it looks on me. I'm not super fair at, well, I'm fairer than I usually am, but I wouldn't consider this super pale, right? And I feel like these being the lightest shades might come up super, did I just spit? Super orangey on people. So let's try, this is Sunblaze. And haven't got any contour product on this side at all. We'll use it to just add a little bit of sculpture. Okay, I think that's quite orangey on me. And that's the second lightest. I do like it, don't get me wrong. I think the formula is beautiful. I think that's really, really nice. My only concern is, imagine that on a super fair, imagine any of these on super fair skin. I think we need to rethink this. The other shades, the deeper shades look beautiful. I think they look stunning. But if this is looking orangey on me, imagine on somebody else. Imagine someone who's even lighter than me, maybe even a little bit pinker than me. So I'm looking at my face now in the lighting, and this looks really nice together. I think it's very subtle. It adds a warmth to my skin without being overly orange or too like bronzy or too blushery, you know what I mean? And then I look at this side and it does give bruised a little bit, and I think that's quite a jump between the shades, you know? In terms of more neutral to more orange. This is quite orange on my skin. You know what I want to do? I almost want to put some of the cream bronzer there, the bright side bronzer stick, because I almost need to break up that orangey shade a little bit, just to break up that orange, because I do still see orange. It's that kind of yellow orange that you get that could almost, on some people, look a little bit green. This is beautiful. Okay, so the lightest shade on me looks like this. This is the lightest shade of their bronzer on me. Their second lightest looks like this, which is this one. Let's look away from it for a minute, because I always find once you do makeup, you're kind of like caught up in this like, oh, situation. Let's not look at my cheeks for 1 minute. Let's focus on the compact itself. Very nice, sleek compact, super easy to open, magnetic shut thing. I like the gold around the edge here. This very much matches their like Rare Beauty aesthetic, you know, and it matches everything else within the collection. It's got a mirror here. I just got the frosted bit on because it's easier to hold up in front of camera. This is very nice, very sleek, very small. I like how you can stack them. So if you are an artist and you want them in your kit, or maybe you just have quite a big makeup collection at home, you can stack them up next to each other, put them like this in a drawer. I think that's really helpful, really useful. Okay, let's come back to it. Yeah, yellow. This is yellow on my skin. Now I'm coming back to it more. That looks super, super yellow. This, love it. Love this, would wear this all the time. Okay, beautiful bronzer. Really nice formula, really beautiful. The way it blends on the skin, stunning. That creamy texture feels really beautiful on the skin. My one concern, and again, it's like my concern with most of their bronzy products, is the shade range when it comes to super fair skin. I think they do quite well at catering to the other end of the spectrum, the deeper shades, but on super fair skin, I don't know anyone who is lighter than me who could wear this without this looking pure orange. So bearing in mind that this is the lightest shade, this is the second lightest, or perhaps not the second lightest, but like a different tone. These being the two lightest for maybe two different skin tones, I worry about people fairer than me wanting to use this product. It's a beautiful product, and maybe go and try it in store before you purchase the shade, because maybe the ones that are medium might be a little bit better, but this, it looks bruised to me. It looks like bruising. I don't know really who that would be for. I'm thinking maybe more olive, but then it's gonna pull very greeny yellow on an olive skin tone. Even on someone with yellow skin, it's quite yellowy orange for a bronzer. Stunning. But stunning. Ooh, okay. You're gonna have to let me know your opinions down below. Have you tried these? Are you in the market for a bronzer? I do have to say, one thing I really, really, really like and admire about Rare Beauty is, when it comes to their product launches, is they're not trying to do everything everyone else is doing. They are filling up their key products first, their core range, and adding to that as they go with their blushes, their bronzers, their contours, concealers, stuff like that. They're not jumping on trends and releasing everything all at once. They're not trying to compete, and I think they've done really well at making their core range and making them look like they're not desperate to sell like a lot of brands are doing. So I think they can work on the shades. Maybe there'll be a shade extension. I know, didn't they do that in the blush recently? So let's hope there is a bit of a shade extension to the fairer tones. I might even watch some people with deeper skin tones try it to see what their opinions are, but let me know yours down below. Thank you to Rare Beauty for sending these to me. Thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing, and I will see you very, very soon. Bye. Thank you.